better to make it to that next round. When we come back, we will have more competition. We still have another team from the USA, as well as gymnasts from Germany and Romania. Don't go away. Back with international mixed pairs competition. I'm Leandra Riley along with Peter Vidmar. The German Democratic Republic is getting ready to compete. The young lady representing the German Democratic Republic is Simone Harperat. She's going to compete on the uneven parallel bars. Her teammate Ulf Hoffman will compete on floor exercise. Simone is 15 years old and she attends Oberschule in Rostock.
Bars has always been a very strong event for the East Germans. I haven't seen Simone very much at all. And she goes right to a handstand. Beautiful reverse hack. She's very powerful.
So she's only 15. That might explain why you haven't seen much of her.
That's
She's
true.
young.
Stoop through. Kip to a handstand. Giant. And a layout full twist dismount.
Nice routine by Simone Harperat. Whether or not it's good enough to get them into the finals waits to be seen.
Now here's her giant getting up ready for her dismount. And she does a layout with a full twist. It's not quite as difficult as some of the other ones I've seen. Girls are doing double backs. They're doing layouts with double twists.
And began gymnastics in 1971.
Ulf Hoffman is 24 years old. He attends Deutsche Hochschule for Kopperstil, and he's studying sports, so I assume he wants to coach or teach.
Hoffman with a very difficult pass. It's a 1.5 twisting, 1 3/4 dive roll. It's very, very risky. Now a second pass. Run off back casting, whip over, back handspring, full punch front. Very, very nice. He's a very powerful gymnast. Here's his flares, a spindled flare, rotating the other way as he does it. And now the required press to a handstand. It's a very unusual and weak pass right there. It was a tucked dive roll. I guess he's resting up for his dismount. Kind of an awkward scale there. He has a little bobble. That's going to cost him.
Scale is mandatory. He must show him.
Yeah, balance trick, yes. And here's his dismount, and it's a double back flip, a little hop. Look a little bit tired at the end of that routine. Now we'll take a look at his mount. It's a 1.5 twisting, 1 3/4 dive roll. It's a lot of flips and a lot of twists.
It must be very difficult to stay oriented in a move like this.
It is. I used to compete this trick, and it can be. I had a friend of mine that's been hurt on this trick too. It's very risky because he rolls out of it, so it's very close to his head, but he does it so well that he really doesn't have to worry about it. I thought he was a little bit tired in going into the dismount. He doesn't get quite the same lift, and he takes a little bit of a hop forward. He lands it and takes a little stumble forward. Looked a little bit tired at the end of that routine.
Better round-off, better running would have improved that dismount then, possibly?
I think so. I think it's the end of a long trip. I think they've been away from home for a while. They're a little bit tired after the American Cup, and I think he wanted to just make it through the routine, and he did it quite well.
The total for this group is 19.15, and right now that is good enough for 6th place. So Simone Harperat and Ulf Hoffman have made it into the finals based on that total so far, but we've yet to see the gymnasts from Romania, and we still have another pair from the USA who are expected to also make it into the finals. We are moving now back to the uneven parallel bars, where Mariana Tudor of Romania is about to compete. She is 16 years of age and began the sport at age 11.
And she's a little gymnast, but look at how she swings in the even bars.
Wow.
Front flip down the low bar, kips up right to a handstand. Straddle up, kip, and another Delchev trick. Here she goes. The kip, straddle up, and she's going to set up for this. This is a long routine. Toe on, front flip, just a little bit of a weak dismount, and it's difficult to land one like that also. She took a big step on it.
But she had a lot of difficulty in the middle.
A lot of difficulty in the middle. I was surprised at the dismount, though. It really was not that hard of a dismount. She does just a toe-on tucked front flip, and she didn't even land it that well.
Do you think maybe that was an alternate dismount?
It could have been. She could have had a more difficult dismount plan. She may have been tired. She may have slipped a little bit and just decided to do that one.
Valentin Puntia is competing as her teammate, also from Romania. He is coached by Vasil Casario.
Puntia is very powerful on floor. Gets a lot of lift. There's a very high full twisting double back flip. A little hop in the landing is going to cost him a little bit, but he gets way up there. Now his second pass is a Arabian double front. He went out of bounds. That's going to cost him some more. It's very, very high. This routine isn't quite as clean as it could be. He's got plenty of difficulty, though. Hasn't really stopped tumbling yet. Now he can do some work on the floor. I'm sure he's huffing and puffing a little bit right now. This is required presto handstand. Done a little bit too quickly. He didn't really hold the handstand. Does a scale. Gets a little rested up for that dismount. And a round off back handspring, double back flip. Little hop, but it was still very, very high. Now on his second pass on an Arabian double front, he went out of bounds, and that is a deduction.
It isn't as major as people like to make out. It's only a tenth or two, depending on the element that you're performing at the time.
That's right.
It's
Here's
not like a fall.
Roll. Yeah, it is. It's a minor deduction compared to falling off the apparatus.
But still, it's an obvious deduction when
That's
you don't
right.
like to give up.
Now here's his dismount. It's a round off back handspring, double back flip, probably the most common dismount in floor exercise. Plenty of lift, and just takes a little hop.
Looks like he had it too. I think maybe if this was the Olympic Games and he was going for a gold medal, he might have forced a stick on that one.
He's very, very powerful.
And they received a 9.7 for the uneven parallel bars, a 9.3 for the floor exercise for a perfect score of 19.00, perfectly even score, I should say. And that will not be good enough to get into the second round. So say so long to the team from Romania. When we come back, the USA has another pair, and they're good. Are our standings at the McDonald's International Mixed Pairs as we get ready for our final few gymnasts in round one. So you can see the Soviet Union is on top, followed by the USA. Earlier we spoke with Bella Caroli. He is coaching Christy Phillips. We asked him about her attitude, her talent, her specialness, but most importantly, how she deals with all of the pressure. He told us this earlier.
That's basically is up to the kids' mental and physical abilities, a combination from these two very important parts of their personality. Now, how she is. She's a balanced type of little girl. Everything she's processing, she's going to her mental digestion, everything, the indications. She's positive, receiving with great enthusiasm everything what is told to her, indication, instructions, directions, what we are showing. She's trying to do her best.
Bella Caroli coaching Christy Phillips.
She does a round off on. Zook fall off with one little step. She's really come into her own.
Let's together more and pressing down. No step whatsoever, okay? Now you go normal, slow down, and with more explosiveness. More punch it harder, and if you press your toes down. No moves. Let's go.
As you can tell, we have put a microphone on Bella Caroli to give advice to Christy Phillips.
Bella is a great motivator. You watch, she's going to do a better vault in that second one. Now she does that round off on, a Sukahara with a full twist off, and she takes that step.
Now during the second vault, we will be eavesdropping on Bella Caroli should he say something. She received a 9.7 for the first vault. Her teammate is Brian Ginsberg. He will be competing on the rings after this vault.
That's us!
Bella Caroli,
Hey, that was a good one. All right. Good little book. All right. That was pretty good. Now let's now get up.
I don't understand what he said, but it sure was enthusiastic. All right, earlier we spoke with Brian Ginsberg. We asked him how he felt about the American Cup. Remember, going into the last event, he was first, but then Alexei Tikhonki was close behind and eventually overtook him for the lead. He told us this earlier today.
I knew before going into high bar that I was in the lead, and I knew I needed to hit a good set because one of the Soviets' best events is high bar. And I was a little nervous, and going towards the end of my set, I was very tired. So on my dismount, I put my hands down, and I knew that all the Soviet needed to do was hit his set, and I knew he was capable of it. And after his routine, he stuck his triple dismount, for the second day in a row, and I knew that it was an incredible routine, and he deserved the score he got.
Brian Ginsberg needs now to stay alive in this competition. He needs a 9.35 to squeak into this competition. That'll tie him for 5th place, and that'll be good enough to get him into the finals. His teammate received a 9.75. Christy Phillips did for her second vault. So 9.35 is the minimum Brian Ginsberg can receive.
Brian's certainly capable of a 9.35. He goes right to an iron cross, pulls right out. He's so powerful. He's so lightweight. There's a beautiful flange. And he presses up to a handstand. He's just about fulfilled all of his strength requirements right now.
5'2", 105 pounds he is.
He's
light.
Very light. Giant to a handstand. Backup rise to a handstand. Nice and steady. He's really improved over the last year. Giant dislocate, and he straddled. That's a straddle side flip with a 3/4 twisting side flip out. It's an incredible dismount. It's very, very new. Only been done for a few months now.
Difficult to say, more difficult to execute.
Yeah. And here it is. Setting it for that dismount. It's like a pike straddle double side flip with a 3/4 twist out, and he lands with a little bit of a hop and step. But I still think that'll be good enough to get them into the next round.
Do the judges take that in consideration, the difficulty of the dismount when you take that step, or is that step just a penalty across the board?
Well, no, I really think they do. They have to take into consideration the difficulty of the dismount. In the past, sometimes they haven't, and you found that the gymnasts started watering down their dismounts. I know I did in the Olympics because I didn't get the credit that I wanted to get for doing a difficult skill. But now the judges realize they've got to give that credit for doing a difficult dismount, and I'm sure he'll get a good score.
He is paired with Christy Phillips. She received a 9.75 for her second vault, so that is the score that will be added to his ring score. Once they flash it, we'll let you know. Their total is 19.45, meaning he received a 9.7, and a 19.45 ties them for second, ironically, with fellow Americans Tim Daggett and Tracy Kalor. So it's the Soviet Union first, the USA tied for second. We have 2 pairs advancing to round 2. McDonald's International Mixed Pairs. Our first round has been completed, and as you can see, the Soviet Union holds down the first place. The United States has tied for second. Tracy Kalor and Tim Daggett are tied with Christy Phillips and Brian Ginsberg. China is in 4th. Germany is in 5th, and Italy holds down the 6th position. We did not get a chance to see the Italian team compete, but we will show you that right now. This young lady is going to vault for you, Patrizia Lucconi.
And she does a round-off on a full twisting round-off on the Sukahara off. It's a very difficult vault. I've never seen it before. She's probably one of the only gymnasts in the world that does it.
Interesting leotard that she's wearing with the sequence of the
it's
glitter.
Very shiny. We'll take another look at this. She actually does a round-off onto the board, and then before she hits the horse, she does a full twist, and then does a Sukahara off. A full twist on, and then a tuck Sukahara off, and she lands perfectly. And that's what helped put them into this round.
And she received a 9.65 for that vault. We will be back with round 2, but first these messages from our sponsor.